agenda item 2, one of the trust authority members contacted me, and somebody had requested to address the trust authority. I didn't have time to get it on the agenda because the agenda was posted. I did say that this man could speak. John McArtor. And after that, we will go on with the meeting. You got Randy, right? If you'd like to speak at this time, John,
thank you
go
very
ahead.
much. Yeah, first I want to thank everybody on this board for all the work they've done. I can kind of sense the frustration y'all are going through here with all the work you've done, and we keep like banging our head against the wall. But I really feel like we're in a position now where people are offering some help, and I think there's some solutions I think that will probably benefit everybody. And I honestly don't think that a sales tax at this point in time, whether it's 2/10 or 3/10 or even 1/10, for the strict purpose of the jail, will pass in Delaware County. I think it was a very close vote last time for 1/2-10, but the reduction, I don't think will have anything to do with the outcome this time. I think that the people that were on the no side kind of woke up to what was going on, and they needed to go to work only 2 weeks before the election. And I think they traded up about $1,200 to buy a couple of postcards and send out. And I think they're going to be prepared for a battle this time, and I don't think they're going to wait 2 weeks before the election. And I think it will be an exercise of futility, and it'll probably make more hard feelings and people think they're just trying to cram this down their throat. But I can understand your position. I understand the position that you think you need to move and you need to do something. I understand if you don't do something in August, I guess you can't do anything until December or whatever the date is. It's a long time. But I honestly think that time could be used to a benefit. I think that people are seeing the direction the wind's blowing on this correction issue in the nation. And in the state right now is that people are wanting more than a jail. They're wanting programs for the nonviolent criminal. Put them in jail is the most expensive way that you can take care of people that like to beat their wife and drink too much. And it just makes them meaner and madder and worthless. They lose their jobs. And it's not the most efficient way. Kansas has figured that out, and Texas has figured that out. And there's lots of counties in Oklahoma that's figuring that out. And I really feel like if we use this time, that we could come up with some solutions that will benefit the whole county. And just the mere fact that we've got to build a bigger and bigger jail is what was going on 10 years ago. And that's really not, I don't think it's the solution that Delaware County needs. Talking to the paper last Sunday, I had an editorial just on this issue, and they had this editorial the week before on the same issue, and it's in all the papers, and people are saying, hey, we don't want another jail, or at least we want an alternate. Now, in our particular case, we may need more jail space. I'm not saying that, but we don't need 228 or 172 or 160 or 114. We don't need that many. And so I really feel like that there's alternate ways to pay for this thing besides the sales tax. Before I was one of those gross people that I was referred to, I used to be one of those Zena people for about 10 years. And about 10 years ago, there was a sales tax in the county that went off because of some time limit. And the Louisville Fire Department jumped on that, and they put up a proposal that they get that 0.4% to pay for the fire departments. And at the time, I was living in Zena, and we spearheaded that effort to get that passed. And the fire departments desperately needed that at that time. Some of those fire departments, they'd have to jump start their trucks to get them to go. I mean, they had nothing. I do that all the time. But, when that passed that night, we were all down at the fire department and we were celebrating, and we had a meeting in a few days after that. And they told us, they said, you all spend that money wisely and be grateful you got it, because it won't be just about 3 or 4 years, that'll come back up to vote. And you probably won't get that again. Well, here it is approximately 10 years later, and those fire departments are still getting that money. And that amounts to roughly $6,000 per month for every fire department in Delaware County. Now that varies. 4,000. They gave me, I won't argue the point, they gave me $85,000 for the taxes, and that's what they told me. So it's 4 to 6. Depends on the month and the time, but it's not going to go down any further. And I've seen, like Butler didn't even have a fire department, they needed one. You know, they built 4 or 5 bay station over there, and they got a truck in every bay, and they built some water tower and blacktop parking lots. They probably got more equipment than they got a lot of. And I think that's pretty much the story all through the county. And this is going to come up for a petition. And I think it's the opportunity now to get part of that money and put it into your coffer. Now, I talked to Miss Dixie, and she told me that there were not a lot of state regulations on getting the petition to overturn that 4/10 tax. That a lot of that would be handled by the DA office. That most of the regulations on the petition were state regulations, and the county had a little bit of latitude on what they could do. And the number of signatures required for a petition to repeal that tax is roughly 2,500. Which sounds like a lot, and I got to thinking about it, that's not very many. And you knock on the door and say, I want to reduce your taxes, and all you got to do is sign this thing, you can get people to sign that. And so I think it's very possible that we can get that repealed. And that money can do. And I don't want to repeal all of it to the fire department. I'd like for them to be able to keep, say, 1.5% of the 4/10s. And the rest go into your coffer, which will help the situation for the whole correctional facilities and programs that you all need. And the other thing is, you say that an ad valorem tax won't pass. Now, I don't want to beg to differ on that. If you have a meeting called for it, they will vote unanimously that they don't want that, and it will not pass. If you have that meeting in Grove, that will not be the situation. This county is divided economically. The people in Grove are paying sales tax there. If you're on the south part of the county, you don't care what the sales tax is, you're buying stuff in South. But you don't want your property tax to go up down there. So I think, with you all working as the salesman on the thing, I think a 1/10 ad valorem tax would pass, along with the rest of the program. If you look at the total program and sell the whole program to the county, money from the fire department, a little bit of ad valorem tax, do some treatment programs, listen to the programs that the state has to do. I think that the problem is solvable, and I think there's enough money without increasing any sales tax. I think there's enough money to do it right now.